yet, so it's probably not showing what I want it to show. Isn't that nice? Well, it's going into the commercial. And there I am. Okay, good. I am live. Turn on the torch, light up the flames. Time to melt some glass, my friends. There you are. Here I am to explain, to teach, and create again. Thank you for being out there. And tonight I've got 2 viewers already online, I think, but well, 1 anyway. And he's got a little bit of insomnia, and I told him that I'd be out and about and doing some glass blowing tonight. So, without further ado, now, let me explain the 3 video feeds that you see. There's one that's really dark over here. Or should I point that's in its own little location. Matter of fact, I'm going to play with its little glass feed here, see if I can't make it any better. And I probably shouldn't have played with it. That's what you get when you play with it. It gets worse, right? Right. Can only try, right? Try and fail. Or try and get it right. No, that's not going to do it. Slide. I should have left well enough alone. Darn me. It's got a little bit of a didymium lens in there that I'm trying to snug into a better location. May as well try to clean it a little bit while I'm at it. Stupid me. Ah, there we go. Nope.
Willa Waldron said,
Hello, Willow.
"Are we live, Lou?"
Yes, I believe so. If I wasn't live, you wouldn't be hearing me say yes. I believe so. It's good to see that I've got 2 people out there, and I was just stretching out. Anyway, let me continue complaining and also explaining the camera angles. I've got the one in front, which is really dark, but that's so that you can see what's going inside the flame. I've also got one above that I just readjusted the lens on, that my fingers are in front of. And then I have, yeah, that's going to do. It's a little, might help now that I've readjust.
Said,
and then I have right here in the top right-hand corner a picture of me smiling away. Isn't that special? Yeah, that's special. Anyway, I've got a couple of things that I was going to do tonight. One of them is a request for a tiny elephant. And I have to make, I've got some jade green.
Automated voice you have there.
Yes, it does help me to not have to look over at the screen every 5 seconds and read what's going on. But I am going to be making a macro tiny elephant. And then I'm going to get into explaining a little bit of what's going on as far as the types of glass. And I do have a few of it, well, only 1 or 2 of them that I can sort of explain about. But a lot of people think glass is glass, but that's like saying aluminum is steel. And they're both a metal, and they both have, metal properties, but steel does one type, is strong for some things, and aluminum is strong for another couple of things. So we'll get into that after a little bit. I also have, and I will try to make today, I have this that I found at Goodwill, I believe, or something like that. And it was a stamp, a paper stamp or cutter, or you press it into like a sheet of paper and it will make the stamp of a butterfly. But I took it apart, took it upon myself to take it apart, and it has created, and then let me get that out real quick. I've got a couple of them that I did yesterday. Still have a little bit of fun to work with it. Just a matter of, let me see. I guess I need to take everything out of the oven. Oop. I'm graceful tonight. Yeah. Here we go. These are some of the things that I had in the oven. And here is one attempt that I did with that butterfly. Oops, there it is. And it's encased inside. I pressed it in and then encased it. I silver fumed it as well. That's what's giving that nice yellow effect. And I did it again, and I did it about several times. The first one was, you can see the image, but not that clearly. And then this one I didn't encase, and this was from the bottom part, and I'll show you that real quick. It looks like this. And I pressed it inside there, and it came out pretty good. It almost looks like a flower, but it did the trick as well. But I'm going to be having a lot of fun learning and playing with that. It only cost me like $3 at the Goodwill, so I was excited to be able to take it apart, and I kept all the pieces so I can put it back together, and it won't. It has not, any of the glass that I put on it has not really affected the die at all. So I'm really excited about that, being able to put it back together and making it work for whatever. Anyway, first things first, I'm going to make a a little tiny elephant. And this is jade green that I have here. And that's what the request color was, green. And so we're going to go from there. Light up the fires and kick the tires, right? Okay. And if you have a question while I'm working, you can talk to me while I work, and I will try to answer. You know that. That's part of my fun. Looks like I have 3 people watching at the moment, which is a good thing. Always helps me to work better when I have an audience. But yeah, I'm going to be making this tiny, tiny elephant. I call this tiny stuff the religious size because people pick it up and go, "Oh my God." I haven't made too many of this size recently, so this is going to be, I wouldn't say a major challenge, but a challenge. Okay. There's the body to the elephant. Hold on to it by where the tail is going to be, and I'll put the head on here now. People ask how I make them this size, and I tell people it's the same way you make, you're writing words on the page and you think you're going to make the next word smaller. So you concentrate, put it in the same basic shit, put it in this.
Collins said, "What are you making tonight?"
Well, at the moment, a miniature elephant. But that's part of it, is that you do the same basic shapes, but just put it in a smaller space. Well, that's not... The nose is not cooperating for some reason. There we go. One ear. Might have to do that nose again after a little bit. The other ear. Tweezers for flattening the ears. Oops. Ow! I have definitely... I have a gap right here underneath my torch, and I've been saying I'm going to put a piece of tinfoil over it, and that thing keeps dropping. things keep dropping in there faster than I want. So I have definitely got to do something about that. Just my luck. Right. Let's do it one more time, starting from scratch. That's the way I work things. If it does go wrong, you see me continue instead of saying, oh, I give up, I'm not going to make it. There we go. And at this size and this, as a matter of fact, I'm going to kick it down another little notch. At this size, you really gotta. That's one thing I'm glad I do have is these elbow pads here that I'm resting my arms on while I work to steady my hands while I do this. One ear. Now out the other. One ear and out the other. There you go. I was wondering why they always called the other ear out the other, but I never figured that out, but that's okay. Flatten that ear. And now for the legs. Of course, it involves 4 of them. And at this size, you got to make sure that you're still sealing it together, not sticking 2 pieces of glass together. And it can be that way because it's so small, you want to try to get it done faster. But you've really got to. I will take a picture of this and put it on Instagram so that you can see what size this actually turns out to be. I don't think I have a dime or anything on my table to show size-wise, but we'll get there. The tail started melting a little. I guess I'll hold on to it by the nose on the front while I do the legs in the back. One more leg to go and fix the back tail. There we go. Fix the tail here. It doesn't help to be having to wear trifocals nowadays, and when I do work like this, I even do take off my glasses. Believe it or not, without my glasses on, I can see my fingerprints this close to my face. Not bad for a 59-year-old codger like me, huh? And we have, if I can get it to sit, that's the hard part, making sure it sits down correctly. You still have to, what I call, heat up the toes and press. Of course it's not going to cooperate. Oh, it did. It does stand up quite nicely. I might even do one more of those just to choose between the two. But it does stand up, and it will go inside a nice little case. But I'm going to do one more just because I can. Do this one just a little bit bigger, just a little. But considering that two of them would fit on my thumbnail, it's still not very big. That head's a little bit too big, but we'll get there. We'll take a little bit more of that off. There we go. Actually, this is turning out to be about the same size, but I'll give her the choice. I'm making this for a customer. Her first name is Nayeli. She just won a marble bid that I did on Black Market Marbles, and I said, is there anything else I can do for you? She says, can you do elephants? And I said, yeah. And on my YouTube, not my YouTube, but my Facebook out glass or photo albums, one of them is dealing with my glasswork. And in the glasswork, the very first picture is an elephant standing on a penny. And I told her that this is what I call the religious size. And she was very impressed. So I said, okay, I'll see what I can do about making one for you. That's too long of a nose. I know you guys can barely see that I'm even moving my hands around into this flame. But believe me, I'm having fun making this elephant. Put a cold weld at his nose so I can do the back end.
Willa Waldron said, Lou, do you want to hear a quick joke?
Sure, go ahead. I love jokes. That's most of my life as a joke. No, not really. Keep it clean, though. Oh, yeah, that's 4 legs, head and a tail. Shrink that tail down a little bit. Come on. Doesn't need to be a long tail, needs to be a shorter tail.
Willa Waldron said, did you hear about the magic tractor?
No. Sounds like something that would plow me under with laughter. Ha 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 ha. And the craziest thing about this size is that it's cool almost instantaneously. Come on, stand up for me, will you?
Willa Waldron said, it went down the road and turned into a field.
That's almost as bad as when is a door not a door? When it's a jar. All right, let's get this working for me. It's getting these legs to make it stand up on itself, for itself. There we go. Yay! Got 2. My miniature. And I love doing miniature stuff. My motto has been no job too small from practically the get-got. And a lot of people like to make things bigger and better. I like to make things smaller and better.
Said, ha 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 ha, brilliant.
My favorite riddle of all times is no doors, no windows, or locks to get in, but a secret treasure hides within. Talking about an egg. That's my favorite. One of my favorite riddles. That's from, I believe, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings, probably. That's just a quick guess, but that was, it's one of my favorites. Makes people think. The other one I love. You talk about a riddle. The other one I love is what dries. No, what gets wet as it dries? A towel. Anyway, now I had a request for glass types. What is the difference between glass? And of course, I talk about most of what I use is borosilicate type glass, which is most of the clear rods that I have on my table. But I also have talked about and used, especially in some of my videos, I've used where I used like soft glass, which used to be like a Mountain Dew bottle, and also the one that I've used or recently used is the what am I saying? Oh yeah, that I've recently used is a sparkling grape juice bottle that I broke up and made into little figurines. I can cross-reference that in the URL that's going to be down below, or should I point it down below? There we go. And that with that finger, I can down below there somewhere. It'll be in one of the URLs, talking about sparkling grape juice bottle. And I believe I used my budget torch on that, which was another thing that I need to bring back up and do some more with. I haven't done in a little while. But glass, a lot of people think glass is glass, but that's like saying aluminum is steel. Truly, think about it. They think that all glass is the same, but it does. Each type of glass has different properties, just like aluminum has different properties than steel does. And both have functions, and both work and do what they need to do in the fields and stuff that you do. Like, for instance, I have stainless steel cover top here on my bench. It's a little shiny, but it does do the trick quite nicely. And that way there's no wood burning. And I have had more than my fair share of tabletops with charred wood spots, to say the least. Excuse me. And another thing that I did, okay. But getting back. But there are different types of glass. And I've talked about borosilicate, which is what I mainly talk about. But then there's also soft glass. And with soft glass, there's several levels of soft glass as well. And the reason I call it soft glass, or people call it soft glass, is because it melts at a lower temperature and is more pliable than, say, borosilicate, which is a little bit thicker. Well, not thicker, but melts at a higher temperature and plays with different stuff. Now, I believe, let me see, I know I have a little chunk of it somewhere, but you think I could find it. I've had on my table. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Yay! This is soft glass. And one of the things that I talk about with soft glass is that it is not compatible with borosilicate. Yes, they melt and they can stick together in the flame, and you can twist and play with it. But eventually, because they are incompatible, the stress level will crack and break it at those points. And one of the quickest things is what I call the COE test, which is coefficient of expansion and contraction. The one in my right hand, the clear rod, is borosilicate. The one in my left hand, which is green, is some of that sparkling grape juice bottle. And what you do to see if they are compatible. Okay? This is to show you that these two are not compatible. And the way you do that is you will try to melt one on top. Let me see if I can get that. Here we go. One on top and one on bottom of each other, and then stretch it into a thin line. And I'll try to do that right now. Layer the two together. Okay. And then stretch out a nice thin straight line, just like so. And right now I've got it taut, so it's stretching out. But I'm going to melt it off right here and watch what happens to the glass rod. It immediately curved. See that? I don't know if, no, you can't see it from way over there, but you can see that bend in the glass. Because one of the glasses cooled faster than the other, it created a cooling factor that causes that glass to bend. Okay? Now, if they were compatible, and I'll do that because I have another chunk of both I know what they are, but if you didn't know what they were and you were trying to check them out to see if they were compatible, okay? All right, this stuff is popping. Stress, that's another reason why I like to use borosilicate. Soft glass likes to stress out and pop and crack at lower temperatures. You really got to ease it into the flame, and I didn't do that the first time, and it got away with it. Okay, same deal, layer one on top of the other, heat it, and stretch it out. And as you can see, no curve whatsoever, and I am turning this. There's no curve whatsoever to that. That shows you those two pieces of glass are compatible. And again, if you weren't sure whether they're compatible or not, that is the quickest test that I can tell you to try out. Otherwise, now, if you're using, like, if you got a piece of borosilicate glass, like a rod, and you want to play with some soft glass, for a temporary fix, yes, you can stick those together and they will work. The boro can work for the punte, and vice versa. The green can work for the punte for the boro. But eventually, when it cools, it's going to crack and break off right at that spot. Right now, it's not going to because it's still very hot. There, you see there? I didn't really try to score it or anything. It snapped right at that spot. Okay, that's the way that's the way the glass goes. Again, if you're not sure when you're working with glass that you're not sure of, playing with it, make, like if it's a bottle, use the same bottle to make everything that you're going to play with. In other words, make a little figurine, use it all the same bottle. If you're going to use, make a little vase or whatever, use the same bottle. Using different colors in it and you're not sure, that's where you're going to have the problems of it stressing and cracking out. Any questions so far? There is one other type of glass that I use, and I make miniatures with it, and I also do make wind chimes out of the stuff. And it is harder to melt than even borosilicate. I actually take quartz beach pebbles. They're smooth, flat skimming stones that you find at the beach around North Carolina. I take those and melt those down and make figurines out of that. It takes about twice the amount of heat and twice the amount of effort to even melt quartz, but I find I have a lot of fun playing with it, and you won't even have to worry about trying to see if it's compatible or not, because the quartz melting at a higher temperature would melt a lot faster. As you can see, I'm trying to stretch it out just like I did the other ones. The boro is cooperating, but the quartz is not even coming close to melting yet. and it gets really, really, really bright into the eyes. But I have fun playing and melting quartz and making figurines to go inside marbles with quartz. Um, each one has its properties to play with, and it takes a lot more temperature and stress factor than the borosilicate and the soft glass. It works because they make many a wine bottle and many a soda bottle out of them. And the borosilicate works. They use that in scientific stuff because you can heat it up a lot easier and less stress and work with it and play with it and do things. But still, even that is fragile. Any type of glass can be fragile under the right circumstances, unless you're working with Gorilla Glass. You got to give me a break. I'll give them that. But it's still, Gorilla Glass is I wouldn't say an anomaly, but it has its properties and its factors too. Still glass, just does its thing in a different way. Any questions and any requests that you would like to see done? I did the 2 elephants. I did the COE test, which is very important when you're doing with glass blowing, because if you don't know what you're dealing with, it's better to make sure that it is compatible with what you're working with. So, let's see. Oh, let's make an octopus maybe, or an elephant, another bigger elephant, or an angel, or something. I haven't figured it out. Oh, that's right. I got to fix the top of that angel. Somehow when I made the bail on this angel,
Willa Waldron
there was a little blue dot in the
Do you
bail.
reckon you can make a 4-leaf clover from a green glass with a hoop to turn it into a necklace?
Of course I could, Willow. And I have some nice emerald green borosilicate type glass that I can do that with. There it is. Or I can use the jade green. I could probably do either or and. But I think I want to make it out of the emerald green. Well, let me see. This is a little bit darker green. That'll do. This is forest green, I believe. And that will do for the 4-leaf clover. Or do you want the 3-leaf clover? Answer that question somewhere down the line and we'll do fine. And I will make this very interesting and fairly quickly because I can. Okay. I got an idea. Where is it? There it is. I have a disc flattener.
Willa Waldron said, 4-leaf clover are considered lucky and very rare to find here in Ireland.
Sounds like a deal then. I'll try to do it right now. Yes, I can put on an Irish accent if I wanted to. Most people don't understand that. But I love accents. I can do them at will. I know. It's not perfect, but it does the job. Okay, flat disc. Coming up. So what do you think of my 4-leaf clover so far? Looks like a 4-leaf clover to me. What? You don't think so? Well, I guess we'll see what we can do. High precision cutting instrument. You see that, right? heat up the glass just right and cut away. Tweezers, where are they? Right here a second ago. Did I put them back? Nope. Tweezers. Oh, come on. They're not in the ground. They're not on the floor. Where are you? Snake could have bit me by now. I hate that. And they're right here. I know they are. Can't be too far. Who knew? I guess I can use these. These will work. I'll figure out where they went to eventually. Now I cut the shape of these. And now I'm turning around and reshaping them slightly. And now I got to turn around and pull off down here at the bottom to reshape that part of it. Another high precision cutting instrument. And the blue is, I was melting some plastic and it left some blue dye color on the knife. There we go. Now I got to pull it off down here and reshape that area. But that's the fun part about what I do, is that I can... The reason I'm able to I guess you could say, make these at a moment's notice is because I've done a few different designs and shapes, and I draw from what I call an alphabet of shapes that I pull together to make animals. Just like you draw an alphabet of shapes together to make words. Like, not alphabet of shapes, but alphabet draw together to make words. Just like I could take 4 letters or 3 letters, C-A-T, and you immediately get an image in your head of what C-A-T stands for. But just by changing one letter in that word, H-A-T, it becomes a whole different meaning in your head, and another picture is formed, and you don't confuse the two, because they are interchangeable at times. And that's what the lettering is all about. And that's the way it is with shape on shape with figurines. I do it just one subtle way, and you have a horse or a unicorn. And I subtly change it in another direction, and you would have a dragon just by elongating the nose a little bit and putting horns on it instead of horns on it instead of a unicorn horn. It's just a matter of putting it in the right place at the right time. Now, and I will do a quick picture and put this on YouTube, Instagram. The shades of swirl colors of green in there. It's a dark green, but it's a nice green. So I kind of like it. I'm going to put the bale on one side of one of the clovers. And when I do a bale or a loop, I bring it up to about halfway, like so, and create a question mark, and then heat it up, and then sort of let it drip down a little bit and connect to the bottom. Oops, stuck a little bit more than I wanted it to, but it's okay. Then I sometimes just take and heat up and ream it with a graphite reamer. And there you go. And we have one shamrock. Simple, effective, and sellable. That's the whole point, where you can make it that people would want to buy it. That's
Will of Waldron said, "Thank you very much. I honestly appreciate you making my request. It's fantastic. As easy as it may be, it's an amazing skill and art that there is very little of here in Ireland. You're a true legend."
Well, I wouldn't say a true legend, but I would say that I enjoy what I do, and I'm glad that I can be an inspiration to you. And I know that down the line you'll get a chance to. I didn't realize that my camera was off so much. I guess I nudged it somewhere, or anyway, there we go. Now we got it in a little bit. I should ask for, I guess you could say, because I'm my own technician. That's the best way to describe me. I am my own technician. And if I have any technical difficulties, I am the problem with the technical difficulties. Now, another neat thing I did last night, and I'm going to do another a real quick one here. I'm going to make a miniature marble, and it's going to be clear. I tried to do this with
Waldron said, "And I will buy that shamrock from as soon as I can if you will allow."
No problem. I can we can work something out. Haven't done much shipping, but I know that it's a little bit more expensive. I'll come down in the price so that you still have to pay for it anyway, just for the shipping. Okay, I'm making a miniature marble, but I tried doing this, and it's going to have some UV reaction going on. It's going to have some Illuminati that I'm going to sort of draw. You know what? I'm going to try this a little bit different than what I'm planned on it. So let's do this. I have an idea, and we're going to try to work with it to see if it's going to work. Things you don't know whether it's going to work until you try, right? There we go. Had this idea just a little while ago. Now there's Illuminati inside this little thin strand here. Two eyes and a smiley face. Not too complicated.
Will of Waldron said,
but let's see if it works.
"I'll pay whatever you need, man. You need to make a little something too. It's absolutely fantastic, that 4-leaf clover, so simple and clean."
I appreciate that, Willow. Now I'm going to encase that smiley face in the middle of this marble. I think I'm going to take a little bit of glass off of this side. I want to not make it so big, but I still need to encase it. Yep. And then I'll add, this should work. It'll look interesting. I will have this on Instagram really quick as well. At this size, I can get away with just letting it cool, but I will put it in the oven. But just trying this little thing out. And I can even do lettering like this. Like if somebody wanted to say, I love you inside there, or this is, but it's not a big piece. It's just a smaller piece with the Illuminati in there, which should turn out pretty cool. Cold seal. That's the fun part, making sure it's going to stick while you work, but not enough to screw up the whole thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to drawing names inside. I wouldn't say that size, maybe a little bit bigger, but with Illuminati. That way you won't be able to see what it is until you light it up with a black light, flashlight or black light. Yeah. Oops. Came off before I wanted it to, but...
Willa Waldron said, up to 6 viewers killing it tonight, Lou.
Well, it's not the amount or the... In some ways, yes. For YouTube to enjoy it or to say, hey, we're going to make money off this guy, yes. But to me, as long as I have one person watching, that's all that matters. When I'm at a craft show and somebody comes up to my table and watches me for a little while, it's all the audience I need is just one person at a time. But if I have 100-fold or 200-fold, I'm a happy camper as well. So it's just, but yeah, I love what I do, which I tell people it was the pyromaniac in me being creative. And I believe that marble just needs to cool. Any other requests? A cat, a mouse, a swan, a bear, a whale, a snail, a unicorn, a dolphin, an elephant? Name it, and I can accommodate. Unless you get really, really wacko, and then I'll have to say no. But sometimes I even do that. I got an idea. There we go. And of course the black light flashlight is in the house, so I won't be able to show you this until I put it on Instagram very shortly. But it should turn out really, really nice. And the craziest thing about me and I can do little tiny figurines like this that you saw me make earlier. The little tiny elephant at the very beginning of the show. I can do them that size and then put them inside marbles.
Louis Evil 519 said, dragon with wings.
Ah, my favorite. Why not? I can do that.
Said, hi Lou, where did you get your glasses and what shade are they?
Okay. To answer Athena's first, and then I'll get right back to it, is the glasses that I have on my head. Okay, you're going to love this. It is a pair of shades, lens filters, or diademium lens filters that you can get for those goggles that you can get for, like steampunk stuff. And the set that I got actually came with a number 5 shade as well that I could slide over the top of these. And what I did was I took and went to the dollar store and bought the frames and manipulated a little bit to slide the lenses into place. You know me, I always, if I can find fringe of a shoestring budget, and that defines most of my glass blowing experience. That's why you see me use simple tools. Yes, I can use the big expensive stuff, but I like using the simple tools because it lets you realize that, hey, you don't have to get the big expensive heavy duty torch or big expensive heavy duty tool that cost $150. Never hurts to have it, don't get me wrong, but you can, if you can't be with the ones you love the ones you're with. But yeah, these were on eBay, and with shipping, they ran about $35 for the lenses. And then making like the dollar store frames.
Said, that's awesome. Will
And
Waldron said, ha ha ha, I forgot you showed those glasses off in one of your earlier videos. Very clever.
Yes, and it is one of my fortes. Again, I try to show you that, yes, it's great if you've got the money, and you can spend the money to get the best and high quality products. But if you don't have, doesn't mean that you can't get started. It means that you can at least protect your eyes. That is first and foremost that I tell people, protect your eyes and get a good torch to play with. And I've even used that budget torch. And that budget torch, it came with the regulators. It came with the stuff that I needed to play with it. And it ran about $90 off eBay, shipping included. So, and that got, that was one of, and again, I'll put that underneath under the budget torch that I was dealing with.
Said,
now, Dragon with
I took
wings.
lenses and duct taped them to a pair of dollar store cheaters.
About that, that'll work. I have noticed that I do get dry eye. So I tend to take off my regular glasses, and because I'm working, and even though I wear trifocals, I can see my fingerprints this close to my face without any glasses on. I tend to work in my flame with just these lenses most of the time, unless I'm doing something really, really, really small, which I probably should have done when I did those little elephants. But okay, Dragon. We got some jade green here, not emerald green, excuse me, and I've probably used. This is sort of like a root beer color borosilicate type green, not borosilicate type brown, that I'll use for the wings. I think I'll reverse that. Dragon's going to be brown. Wings and claws and stuff are going to be green. So let's, without further ado, get into doing this dragon.
Athena Hammond said, I'll have to send you a picture. I really wanted to blow glass and didn't have any glass.
I know and when you think about it, some glasses can run anywhere from $200 to $300 for a pair. That's but you can get those filters and lenses, and then you can get a pair of frames, goggle frames from your welding supply places to put those circular frames in, or circular lenses in, and that would get you going. It will keep you protecting your eyes, and that is the most important thing. Protection, safety. I try to teach it most of the time. Always think hot. Don't just set something down and then pick it back up with your fingers. No, it happens. I've done it. I call those days of burnt offerings. And the days that it's sharp enough and I get cut, I call those days of blood sacrifice. And yes.
Philip Waldron said, in the near future in one of your lives could you attempt a phony X-Fire bird? Athena Hammond.
A phoenix type
said,
bird.
Where is the best place to get glasses?
Well, they do have in most glass blowing supply places. They have glasses that should run anywhere from 60, and I haven't tried out the polycarbonate, so I don't know whether those would work well or not. I need to see about trying different brands, but I have not done that yet, and I haven't gotten the popularity in my videos, I guess you could say, to where I'm getting 300 hits in less than a day, or 1,000 hits in less than a day, to get the the money back on something like that. But anything that I know about glasses, or anything that I know about torches, or anything I know about the types of glass that I use, I freely and willing to tell you about it. But again, probably either you can buy some on eBay for like $40 to $80, some regular didymium lenses that they usually specify for bead workers. But if you're doing smaller work, it does not matter. And I also recommend, if you do get a big torch or a torch that you get, and it's going to be worth it in the long run, a heat shield. And that heat shield, it has saved me from, because one of the things that you will be getting from the torch is UV light, and also infrared light. So it's two ways of it's burning your face without you even thinking about it. Okay, basic shape of a dragon going on here. It has sort of a velociraptor look to it in some respects. Now we're going to trim it out with horns and wings. And let's see what it's going to look like. On second thought, instead of using this emerald green, I'm going to use a jade green. The contrast will be a little bit better. Here we go. The horns. Probably put on blue eyes after a little bit. Then we come up with the wings. And you know me and my fold and pull method. I love to pull it out, fold it over, pull it out, fold it over, until you feel like you've got just about the amount that you want, and then heat the whole thing up and shape it. That fold and pull, once you master it, once you get an idea how to do that, and it's going to be one of those aha moments, and it's like going to be, oh boy, I can do it now. It comes in handy for wings, it comes in handy for leaves, it comes in handy for petals, it comes in handy for ears, elephant ears. I mean, you just, the endless possibilities. Tails for horses. You just got to keep at it until you get it right. And if you can't do that type of wing, you can make a nice little blob, flatten it, and then shape that into a wing. You know, there's thousands of ways to skin a cat. I just learned how to do it my way. That's all. You only need one at a time to skin the cat that you're working on at the moment. Yes, you can try other methods later on, but if you're happy with one, go for it. There's the tail. Now I'm going to do 2 claws on each leg. I mean each arm or leg. Or yeah, you got it. I'm just being lazy. 2 will work. If you wanted to get 5, if you wanted to get 6 claws on something, and you want to put the detail in it, that's fine. That's your work. Me. Detail does help, but also when you get too complicated, it starts getting uglier, and that's kind of hard to explain, but that's true. If you are working on a piece and the more detail you put on it and you can make it look good, great. But if you start putting more detail on it and it starts messing up and you have to try to fix it and mess it up again and try to fix it some more, that's when you learn to say, okay, it was doing really good up until this point where I started to put more detail. So don't put more detail. It's great to have the detail, but you don't need it sometimes.
Libby Evil 519 said, I have problems with the wigs, the pull and stretch type technique. Louis Evil 519 said, wings.
Okay, the wings I will show real quick as well. As you can see, this guy, all it needs now is, well, I'm going to do 2 green eyes and a tuft for a beard. Oops, I didn't do that in the right spot. Let's see if I can get this right. See if I can break it off. Come on. Anytime. No, it's still on there, dang it. Yeah, I think I rounded it to the right where I need it. Okay, that'll work. A little bit better. Now the tuft for the wings. Again, if you have trouble with that fold and pull, and I realize that, again, once you learn it, it is something that you can use, and it's a great thing. But I will tell you that I have been trying to, well, not full time, but the loop type lace that they have, due to my dysfunctional brain, I can't do that. But I mastered a type of lacy loop that works out real well. It's very strong, it's very durable, and it gets the job done, and I can make just about anything out of it. And the best part about my lace is that you can go back into it and fix a piece of it, instead of where the lacy loop, the loopy loop stuff, you try to heat that back up and it just goes and falls apart even further. It's like, oh. Anyway, wing. If you have trouble with the very big fat, the fold and pull, make a little bit of a blob. You pinch, and that's your wing, believe it or not. You can actually add that to a piece of glass, or a piece as it is. You got a nice little teardrop shape going on, right? I did this in my last video, but I don't mind repeating myself, because I like people trying to understand it for their first time as well. Okay, you can do a lot of these ahead of time. Just set them and then put them down on your table, and then when you get ready to put the wing on, you can do what I call a quick weld or a quick seal, and it goes like this. You where that little tongue sticking out on that disc, you heat and touch, and it makes a spot that you can work with. And then make sure you're heating the two of them together. Touch them together and make sure that there's no real sticking spots anywhere. And then heat up the whole wing a little bit and shape it to whichever shape you want. Don't be frustrated because you can't. Like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Work it so that you can work it. Don't get frustrated and walk away and never come back and do that sort of style. But there's always a way around it. Always come up with a different type of shape. If you can't do the fold and pull, do the disc shape and make your little wings. Don't give up. Keep trying. It eventually, again, you'll have those aha moments, and your whole life will be like, wow, why hadn't I been doing this sooner? It's a fantastic thing, I'll tell you that right now. Excuse me. Sitting there yelling at you guys. I'm sorry about that. But with that, I think I'm going to call it quits. And I'm really excited about getting inside and showing you the little smiley face, and also the little macro miniature elephants. And I'll even take pictures of this, but this has got to go through the oven because of this size and the stress
Louis
that could
Evil
be going on.
said. Thank you, I never thought of doing it that way.
I try to come up with ideas, and that's what I'm here for, is to help you guys to get better at what you do. And again, the only real reason why you have problems with some things is you've already thought to yourself, I can't do that. Therefore, I won't be able to do that, because you've already told yourself, I can't do that. But I've also learned that, yes, I can't do it this way, but I can do it this way. There's two things I say. Well, it's some of it's a joke, some of it's true. Where there's a will, there's a way. And also, where there's a will, there's relatives. But truly, the only thing that stops you from getting the job done is you saying to yourself, I can't do this. If you find a way around doing it, that's where imagination kicks in, your ideas come together, and you have those aha moments like, whoa, why haven't I done this before? Thank you for being there, guys. I appreciate
Hello
it.
from Australia, sir.
Oh wow!
Love our
all the way from the land down under. I like it. Yeah, I'm pretty good about doing those type of accents too. Don't worry, I don't plan on putting any shrimp on the barbie. I bet you don't like hearing about the shrimp on the barbie. But I love the land down under. Matter of fact, I know a few of my glass pieces have made it down there somewhere down the line. So that's the thing. I'll share that story with you real quick. That's the thing I like about my glass, is that I may not get all the way around the world, but I know that parts of my art have gone to Japan, to Australia, to Europe, to England, to France, Germany. It's made it over there. And even the United States, of course.
Said, comedian, you should be haha. Fart hole. Said, ha 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 ha.
But truly, you've got to understand that, I'll get back to it. Yeah, I love being able to share my art and to know that it is touching people's lives all over the world. That's my inspiration. Having people watch me do it, that's also helpful too.
Cool. Said, that's really cool.
But without further ado, I think I will quit for the night, and I do appreciate you guys being out there. I am thankful that I have the audiences that I do have. Even, like I said, even if it's just one person watching, that's all it takes for me to get and enjoy what I do better. So, until later, thank you for being out there, guys. I'm sorry that the guy from the land down under didn't get into here until the last minute, but I will return. The next couple of days are going to be kind of screwy. I'm going and heading towards Michigan to do some things, so packing and getting there and coming back. It'll probably be the middle of next week before I have another live video feed coming in. I do appreciate it. And I might be able to put a few feeds in there, but as far as live feeds are concerned, it's not going to happen until next Wednesday.
Said, it's 4:20 in the morning here in Ireland, and I'm here watching your video. YouTube need to notice you.
Get to sleep, you lazy cuss. Sorry that you have the insomnia that you do, but I do appreciate you being out there. Thank you, guys. And as always, carpe vitro, and enjoy your day. Thank you.